Today, we've got some mind-blowing space news. Astronomers have just discovered 128 new moons orbiting Saturn. That's right, 128. Saturn already had a ton of moons, but now it has a total of 274. That makes it the planet with the most moons in our solar system, beating Jupiter, which only has 95. So how did scientists find all these new moons? Well, they used a super powerful telescope called the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope. This telescope is located on top of a mountain in Hawaii where the air is really clear, making it perfect for looking deep into space. Over time, astronomers watched tiny objects moving around Saturn, and after tracking them for a while, they realized these were actually new moons. Now, before you start picturing big bright moons like our own, let me tell you something. Most of these new moons are really small. Some are only a few miles across. That's tiny compared to our moon, which is over 2,000 miles wide. These little moons are basically space rocks that got caught in Saturn's gravity, and now they just orbit around the planet. But where did all these moons come from? Well, scientists think some of them might be pieces of bigger moons that crashed into each other millions of years ago. It might be two giant space rocks smashing together and breaking into a bunch of smaller pieces. Those pieces then kept orbiting Saturn, and now we call them moons. In fact, a group of 47 of these new moons may have come from a single huge collision that happened around 100 million years ago. That's pretty recent in space history. Another cool thing about these moons is that they don't all orbit Saturn the same way. Some of them go in weird tilted orbits, and others even move backward compared to the bigger moons. Scientists call these irregular moons. They're kind of like wild little space wanderers compared to the big steady moons like Titan. Oh, speaking of Titan, it's Saturn's biggest moon, and it's larger than the planet Mercury. But these new moons are nothing like Titan. They're just tiny dots of light when we see them through a telescope. Still, even though they're small, they help scientists understand what's been happening around Saturn for millions of years. Since Saturn now has so many moons, the scientists who discovered them actually get to name them. The naming system for Saturn's moons comes from Norse, Inuit, and Gallic mythology, so if you ever discover a moon someday, you might get to name it after a legendary god or creature. Now, the big question. Could there be even more moons hiding around Saturn? Absolutely. Some scientists think there could be thousands of tiny moons still waiting to be found. Maybe future telescopes or even a space mission to Saturn could help us find them. So, what do you think? Will Saturn keep its title as the king of moons, or will Jupiter try to catch up? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more space updates. See you in the next video.